Colorado has legalized recreational marijuana, as you've all heard about. People are smoking dope like crazy there. Let's look at people in line at the Lodo Wellness Center. It was pretty cold. It was pretty cold, but that did not stop these good citizens, these potheads, from getting their weed. Not surprisingly, sales have been through the roof, and actually some of the stores are running out of weed as we speak. We are currently out of recreational cannabis. Please check back with us tomorrow. There have already been reports that the prices of weed are going up because the demand is so high. Obviously, you can already tell that I am completely for recreational weed. I think it's completely fine, and we're going to stop putting people in jail for no reason and all kinds of stuff. Is this just a big win for the weed gang? Is the, just that it happened already? That we have some
a win for this country, I think.
Yeah.
We've been wasting so much money, taking so many people and putting them in prison, because they estimates it's a $45 to $100 billion industry if we were to legalize it nationally, which we should do. It's a lot safer than alcohol. It should be treated responsibly. The supporters have done a great job of going state by state. First 20 states with medical marijuana privileges, and now 2 states, Colorado and Washington, that are going to allow recreational use. And I think it's long overdue, and I think it's sensible. It needs to be treated responsibly, and I think it's a huge improvement for this country. So we're not creating criminals out of those who are not.
Do you see this as like a gay rights thing? It's just going to be one state and then the next state and then the next state?
Oh, of course. I think that the propaganda machine against marijuana, recreational or medical, just was so strong for so long, and the wheels are just completely falling off that. I think there are certain generations of people in certain geographical locations of people that were a little bit more weary of marijuana, and those maybe those states' rights, those states will never decide to legalize it. But I do think the more and more people that see that, look, the world didn't end, crime didn't rise, all these horrible things didn't happen, that the kind of anti-weed propaganda prohibition machine was going. When they say Washington and Colorado are doing just fine and the state is making revenue from it and people are happy and sick people are actually getting care and there's less people in their jails and you see all these positives come out of it, as long as that information is given to the right people, then I think it will go state by state. But there's certain people that do not want to hear it. I guess like my mother still thinks that like marijuana is going to make you crazy and jump off a building and rob people and stab. I know she has like, it's like those things from the 50s.
That's what I was going to say. She watched a lot of PSAs in the 50s.
The PSAs in the 50s basically still run through her head, and the information that she still watches and the internet sites she visits and the news channels that she watches would still have her believe that it is still the 1950s. So look, she and her peers may never accept it, but I think as more and more people do, it's over.
I work in a bubble here, a progressive place in the Young Turks, where obviously pretty much everyone's for this, but I was watching Bill O'Reilly last night, and he was going on and on about how, this is going to ruin society, and that the statistics about the jail thing aren't correct, and
I don't even think he believes that.
I don't think he does believe it either. I think he's just saying it
He can't. Bill O'Reilly is not a stupid man. Bill O'Reilly is a very, very smart person, and I don't believe Bill O'Reilly can truly believe that marijuana is going to ruin the fabric of our society.
So are you saying he's doing it for ratings, just to play to the base of Fox News? I can't believe that you'd say such a thing.
I think he just needs, I think that there's been nothing in the past, few days will get people riled up that he could definitely play to the base and say outrageous things about, so that's why he said that. I do not think that when he takes off his microphone, I think when he takes off his microphone, he's like, and that's it, especially on this one.
Yeah. Is there any credence to the anti-weed people? Because I don't want to be so flippant about it. It has been illegal. I'm obviously for it. But is there any credence to what they say? I mean, we already have, alcohol was illegal, and alcohol is actually far worse than marijuana. But is there anything? Can you think of anything?
Of course, underage kids smoking marijuana or
which they're already doing.
Which they're doing anyway.
It's a huge problem, and there needs to be an education program to go along with this, and moderation, which works for marijuana as well as alcohol, needs to be emphasized, and I think thorough training of people and an explanation of this is something that does make you high, and it's got to be done with caution. But we need to legalize marijuana nationally, and I've been a strong advocate of that forever. The millennials are now coming into power and are going to take this issue, I think, nationally, and I think you'll see a national marijuana legalization push going strongly. We've had 2 great heroes doing it financially, that George Soros and Peter Lewis, who just passed away, who've been putting up millions and millions of dollars in these 20 states and in Washington and Colorado.
And in other countries too, with the George Soros' interest.
And I think it's important. I think that we need to do that, create a level playing field in this country.
So is the next step of this whole thing is that someone's we did a story on it a couple of weeks ago, but that someone's going to step in and really make a push to have like a Starbucks weed place.
Yeah, and it's not going to, this isn't going to happen through, you know, I know the millennials are going to push it and people are going to want it, but it's not going to happen until someone like a George Soros or someone who has really, really big, you know, potential, you know, corporate vested things like farming, like a Monsanto type, something like that, who wants to really make profits, tobacco industry, somebody like that is going to be the person
we
to help
basically
it.
need to have a weed aisle at Walmart.
Honestly, I think that that's what gets things done in America right now. That's probably what I think is one of the biggest problems in America right now, is that something doesn't become acceptable until some huge corporation finds a way to make it profitable. And that's fine that they're allowed to do that and it's going to push it through. But I think that's just the truth of it is that if you want to see, you know, it federally being okay for everyone to have weed and to have it be acceptable on every street, you need a corporation that middle America trusts starting to endorse it, to fund research on it, that starts to spin it to a positive thing. Then you'll see it everywhere.
And don't forget, when something's legalized, then the thrill is taken away. I'm told in the Netherlands that the only people buying marijuana there, which has been legal for 20 plus years, are tourists. That the people there, now that it's not a novelty, and I predict in Colorado and Washington, when the excitement dies down, it's just been a week or so, but you'll start to see the sales slow down and people may be coming in from other states, but I think there people adjust and it's a good thing.
Yeah, I totally agree. Final thought on this, you know, all the mainstream news on this, every time they talk about this, do you notice the B-roll that they show? They show all these like college kids in big sweaters and hoodies. Hoodies are very dangerous.
Beanies
and they're beanies and hoodies, and they're never shaven, and they're taking bong hits, like huge bong hits, and laughing. Like even the messaging that the mainstream media is pushing, not even verbal, is bad on this, right?
It's not only bad, it's lazy and it's childish.
But at least they're showing faces. Before it was always blurred or background.
So I guess.
But now the faces they're showing that it's just a thing of the youth. It's just something of slacker culture. It's just something of scary potential criminal hoodie culture. It's not something that people that are genuinely either sick or older or suffer from anxiety or just feel like chilling out the same way a person goes home and have a glass of wine is doing. So I think that they need to attach the faces of weed instead of just putting it on that. But it's embarrassing too. Look, the band, it's childish and it's lazy to do that. Anytime somebody references Snoop with weed or plays Bob Marley in the background, I'm like, is that how narrow-minded you are, that you think that the only people that have any interest in marijuana culture are either Snoop Dogg or listening to Bob Marley or are in college or can't shave their face? Like, grow up.
Yeah.